Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS and the CTKS Method. If you're new, a very warm welcome and welcome back CTKS family. My goal is to assist you in becoming more of a financial and emotional blessing to yourself and those you love through positive excellence. If you like the content, please smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe. We have one of the best communities on YouTube. We look forward to welcoming you into our global family. There are a lot of free resources on CTKSmethod.org. The link is in the description of this video. Let's see where the markets are going in the next 24 hours. And let's run the numbers. Inside the crypto market, Rule 225 is absolutely vital to understand. Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity. Now, what does this specifically mean? And how do you apply gravity into the markets? To answer this question, we must understand intercorrelation and interconnection, and especially structural momentum, very important. I explain extensively in the Profiting from CTKS Method structure course how to assess momentum both directionally and structurally. It's vitally important to understand. For example, row 1 of the cheat sheet is the VIX, the DXY, dollar yen, 10-year, 2-year, and US oil. And let's say you're just investing or trading in Bitcoin. Or, as you know, Bitcoin impacts the gravitation of every single crypto alt. Directional correlation is a very important thing to understand, but let's get back to it. Row 1, we were talking about the VIX, the DXY, dollar yen, the US 10, the US 2, and also oil. Now, what has any of that got to do with Bitcoin? Of course, a lot of people would say nothing, but they are utterly incorrect. In yesterday's video, we were just here, and we saw that the crypto market did sell down. What structure did it pass through? In order to answer that question, we need to put on the structural levels. I'll just throw on some numbers here so it's a little bit easier to understand. In yesterday's video, Bitcoin was doing quite well. It found support around that 106.039 level and started to break up, but unfortunately couldn't hold this level as structural support. It started to come down. Unfortunately, that was a sign that we had negative price momentum inside the market. And we knew as soon as we start to break underneath structural levels, we get negative structural attraction. And that's what pushed it down to 103.373. This is where a lot of influencers would stop. They would just say, Bitcoin came down, and of course it must be manipulation. Wrong. It's actually gravity, and I can prove it to you. Row 1 of the cheat sheet is the VIX, the DXY, dollar yen, the 10-year, the 2-year, and oil. The blue line here is Bitcoin, and we can see that Bitcoin has been coming down in the past 24 hours. Now I'm going to do something pretty cool. I'm going to invert Bitcoin. Invert the Bitcoin chart. What is the result? We can see that the VIX is inversely proportional to Bitcoin. If the VIX is going up, guess what's going to happen to Bitcoin? It's going to go down. And that's exactly precisely what happened in yesterday's price action. Also, we've been noticing an inverted relationship between the 10-year and the 2-year just at this period of time. It does whip around a little bit, so just be aware of these things. It's not a law, it's an association. And the DXY, that inverted relationship. Dollar yen inverted relationship. Now, what does it mean if we see that price comes down inside row 1? We expect Bitcoin to rally up, but if price starts to come up inside row 1, we expect negative price momentum inside Bitcoin and especially the alts. I'll just uninvert Bitcoin for you. Okay, you can see a little bit more easily. The cause of the descent in the crypto market was row 1. It's very important to understand intercorrelation and interconnection. It will take you a while, if you're just new to it, to minimize directional confusion and independently assess direction, but it can be done. Inside the course, I also explain how you can look through the charts, and looking through the charts is vitally important. When you can look through charts, you will not see Bitcoin. You will see row 1, row 2, all the way up to row 7. I'm literally talking about this. When you see Bitcoin coming down, you'll understand that something's cooking inside row 1, and that should be reflected inside row 2 as well. Crypto is very, very risk sensitive. That's why you need to be really fast. And more importantly, you need to understand what you're doing. The crypto market is full of rules, just like the stock market. And no alt, which means anything but Bitcoin, cannot escape Bitcoin's gravitational pull. What does this mean? If Bitcoin is coming down, guess what the alts are doing? This chart is also provided in the Profiting from CTKS Method structure course. This particular white line is the percentage change in Bitcoin. Now that can be a little bit hard to understand, so I've overlaid this blue line, which is a separate scale of Bitcoin. Notice how Bitcoin, when it comes down, I'm talking about this blue line. When Bitcoin comes down, it will drag the entire crypto market with it. And when Bitcoin comes up, it will drag the entire crypto market back with it. Look at this particular action. It's very, very powerful. Now you might say, Ken, but you know, what happened with Solana? Solana was up the top here and it didn't seem to be that affected by Bitcoin's gravitational pull. Well, the thing is, it was. It's just over and under extending positive and negative momentum. When a particular crypto is on the upper bank, it lowers or dampens the extent of negative volatility. When it's on the lower bank, it does the opposite. It overextends negative volatility. Now, what can cause things like this? Well, primarily it's because of news events or a wide variety of other things. There's some news out in the past 24 hours about Solana and XRP trading on CME as futures. But that's pending regulatory approval. But the key here is to just understand, if Bitcoin is diving off the cliff, it's going to take Solana with it. And typically what we see, if something is very positive, that will sniff out signs of negativity before Bitcoin dumps down. Another pro tip. But the key is this, you could have seen this all through row 1. And row 1 is ostensibly got nothing to do with crypto. What is row 1? Well, it's literally the VIX, the DXY, dollar yen, the 10, the 2, and oil. Inside the CTKS Method service, we have all the structural levels on all of the row 1 through to row 7. Structure is everything. You might see something go up and down. For example, you could see Bitcoin going up and then coming down. It's moving between structural levels. The same thing with the VIX, the DXY, dollar yen, the 10, the 2, and oil. A lot of people would say, oh, it doesn't really matter, I don't care about these things. The cost of ignorance is exceptionally high. And ignorance is not a derogatory term or anything, it's just simply not knowing what people don't know. They don't know that they don't know it. The cost over time of not knowing how the different rows of the cheat sheet impact your money charts is astounding. You can literally blow up your entire account. And not in a good way, you can lose it. But unfortunately, it gets even worse than that. There's a thing called Retail Trade Perfection, or RTP. I talk about it extensively inside the course. Now, what is RTP? Well, it's literally everything that you've been taught about financial markets is incorrect. Why is it incorrect? Because it's emotionally based. For example, people think that they must get 100x's. They FOMO in as the price is going up, only to buy near the top before it retraces down and wipes out their account because they've used massive leverage. They make sure Retail Trade Perfection is always calling you to just go all in and more. That is, use your entire account balance and buy at market, which traders know is terrible to do. Retail trade perfection is literally a group of psychological warfare tactics that are used by institutions against retail players. Inside the Profiting from CTKS Method structure course, I seek to disarm all of those strategies and get you into control. As a trader or investor, just automatically assume that all of these RTP strategies are applying to you, because they are. For all the students who reached out in yesterday's comments and offered their beautiful comments about the course, thank you so much. That's just wonderful. I think today we could talk about RTP, Retail Trade Perfection. Unfortunately, a lot of people, the vast majority of people do not know about RTP. They're literally getting financially destroyed every single day by RTP, but they don't know about it. I think a fantastic thing that we could talk about in the comments today, just in your words, what is the cost of RTP? How would you identify if you're suffering from RTP, and how would you get out of RTP? Retail trade perfection. I personally believe retail trade perfection is responsible for people losing money consistently. And literally inside week 4, I spend a lot of time on the mindset. Just using an analogy, it's one thing to pick up a gun, it is a completely different thing to be able to fire it. And then of course, firing it accurately is another thing. If you're new to our community, a very warm welcome, and there are a lot of free resources on CTKSmethod.org, including this watch list. And this watch list is incredibly valuable. You can also get all the structural levels through the CTKS Method service. We just talk about Bitcoin structural levels today, but you can get all of the structural levels, and they're very important to decode the markets. If you pop across to CTKSmethod.org, you can access that Profiting from CTKS Method structure just on the homepage. But there are a lot of free resources as well. If you just scroll down to Mastering Price Action, you can pick up the cheat sheet. You'll find it absolutely invaluable. And if you just scroll down a little bit more, there are some videos on how to use it. There's been an update to the official ticker list for the service. That constitutes the foundation and basis of row 1 through to row 7. Just grab that again if you've already got it. And also there are a lot of different trades that I just share on the website, so you can go and have a look at those as well. A quote I just wanted to share with you: don't let the market control your emotions. If you see red in the market, don't get freaked out. If you see green in the market, don't get freaked out. Remember, price is always moving in a wave. And potentially, it would be really good to look through yesterday's video. That will help you a lot with mindset. I'm very much looking forward to your comments on how to overcome retail trade perfection. It's such a destructive thing. Whoever we can reach, whoever we can help. That is literally what we're here to do. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.